you're welcome to today's class. Today I'll be showing you how to make a free-form fascinator. My name is DoliveB of DoliveB Crafters. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this great opportunity, and I'm so excited to share my knowledge with you. So a free-form fascinator, from the word free-form, you can turn it this way, turn it the other way around, depending on how you want it. You can form something really nice once you understand the technique. So I'll be sharing with you the technique required in making a free-form fascinator. So for this project, I'll be using these materials I have with me. I know a lot of you would have been familiar with this, but let me just introduce you to the materials I'll be using for mine. So I have two types of cinnamon. You can use the same type of cinnamon if you want to. You can use two different types of cinnamon, two different colors if you want to. But you need 2 yards in total. What I mean is, if you're using two different colors, you need 1 yard of cinnamon of one color, then you need another yard of cinnamon of one color. So if you're using the same color of cinnamon, then you need 2 yards. I hope you get it. So now, other things we need for this project is the steam iron. It's a steam iron. If you don't have a steam iron, you can just use your normal dry iron and a spray bottle. You can just get a spray bottle. But since I have a steam iron with me, I won't be needing a spray bottle. Okay, so I have my hat block. I'm going to be using this to block the base of our fascinator. Our hat wire. This is the regular hat wire. This is our hat wire. Okay, we need a measuring tape. We need a UHE glue. We need our plier to cut our wire. We need scissors. We need needle. We need office pins or thumb pins. I hope you guys know what thumb pins are. I'll show you later if I will need that. Okay, we need fishing line, very important. Then we need our thread. I've mentioned needle before. Okay, so now if there are other things I didn't mention now, I'll definitely show you by working. So let's get started. So I have my cinnamon with me. Like I said earlier, this is 1 yard and this is also 1 yard. So I'm going to start with this. This I'm going to be using to make the free-form brim. Okay, so for the brim, we are having 2 layers. So this is going to be the lower layer, this is going to be the upper layer. So let me just start with this first. Whatever I'm doing on this is what I'll be doing on this as well. Okay, so this is 1 yard of cinnamon. This is 1 yard. Hope you can see it's 1 yard. Now I'm going to fold this in form of a bias. Remember, the bias part of cinnamon is always at the diagonal part. Okay, so I'll fold it in form of a bias diagonally like this. Can you see? So this is folded in form of a bias, in form of a triangle. Can you see? Okay, so from this part, I'll get 3 inches from here. I'll measure 3 inches. It could be up to 3.5, it could be up to 4, but I will just be doing 3 inches here. Okay, or I can just do 3.5. So that is in fold. It is 3.5. So I'll do 3.5. So guess where you have the 3.5. Let's say this is 3.5. Okay, so I will just do 3.5 all the way down. So the length we have is about 45 inches. This is about 45 inches. And make sure the 45 inches is actually on where you have the 3 inches width starting from or ending. Okay, you know this part is not up to 3 inches. So but we'll just leave the length like that. Just leave the length like that. You can actually trim it off while working. Just leave this length the way it is, like I said. So I'll be cutting out my cinnamon now using the width 3.5 inches all the way down from here. Okay, so after cutting out our bias strip, I'm just going to keep what is left hair aside. I'm going to be blocking my base from here, okay, from what is left. If you want to cut more bias strips, you can go ahead and cut more bias strips, so probably to design it. If you want to keep that aside, I'm going to start by ironing. So on this part of the cinnamon, you're going to be dragging this. You drag. Can you see how I'm dragging? Not on this part, on this part, on the folded part. Remember, it's folded this way. So on this part, you drag. Okay, so you're going to drag, then with your steam iron, you're going to iron. Remember, it's a steam iron. Sprinkle water, then you iron. So you drag. The idea is to keep pulling it, pull it. As you pull, you iron. As you pull. So if you don't have a steam iron, if you want to use a dry iron, then you use a spray bottle. You sprinkle water, okay, then you place a dry iron, okay. But steam iron works very well, okay, for this kind of project. So that's just how I'm going to continue to drag this like this and iron till I get to the end. So whatever I'm doing on this particular cinnamon is what I'll be doing on the second one. Can you see the way I'm dragging? You just drag, you pull, and it will start forming something like a circle. So you keep pulling like that, and you keep ironing. My cinnamon bias strips, I've ironed them. As you can see, this is the window cinnamon. The window cinnamon is easier because it's kind of soft. It's softer than this. So this particular one I got is actually soft. So while I was dragging it and like pulling it, it was very easy. Okay, but this one, it took me a lot of time for me to get this. The idea is to make this part wider as you pull this part of the cinnamon wider, while this part becomes smaller. You know, like you're doing a flare. I hope you're getting me. So you keep on turning your cinnamon in form of a circle like this, then you sprinkle water, okay, and you iron this way. Look at where I'm ironing. This is the folded part. I'm ironing this way so as to make this part smaller. At some point you could have some pleats towards this side. Just straighten it up by applying water, and just spray water and you iron that part. Do you understand? So that's just the idea. You can see I'm ironing it towards the side. Ironing it towards the side. So we're going to trim off this part. And you see, we just trim it off. Then we'll trim off any excesses. As it is folded, if it's not aligning well, you know it is folded, so any part that you have in excess, just trim it off. Okay, so I've trimmed it off and it's well aligned. I'm going to pick my bias strip and I'm going to start. You can start from here. You can just start from here and start, you know, covering it with your bias strip if you like. So I'll be using UHU glue for this purpose. Okay. Just little gum and let it go touch every part of the bias that will be covering your cinnamon strip. So I'll just place it like this, and I'm going to glue it like that till I get to the end. Okay. One of the edges of my piece of brim with bias strip, as you can see, I didn't totally cover it because I may actually cut off the excess while working, so I just left it there for now. So I have the second piece and I've not covered it yet. You are going to do the same by trimming off the excesses in case they are not well aligned. Like, look at this, the lower layer is longer than the upper layer, so you can just go ahead and trim that off. When that is done, this is what we have. So I'm going to place this is going to be the upper part of the hat and of the brim. Yes, then this is going to be the lower part of the brim. So you can just fold it into two so you can get the center, the midpoint. So which is this. You can do the same for this as well. Okay, so this is the center, and I'm going to place the center to center like this. Okay, and I'm going to use my iron to place them together. So you are going to be placing it half an inch, like you measure half an inch from here to here. That's where you're going to be placing this. Okay. Can you see? So I'm going to place it like that, and I'll start ironing so that they stick together. You know, when you transfer it like that, there's stiffener on the cinnamon, so it glues them together. Can you see? I hope you can see. Okay, so I'm going to do that like that to the end of each of them. So please make sure that you are checking the space in between, the distance. That's from here to here, from here to here, ½ inch. Place on the ½ inch mark like this, and you place your iron. Apply water. Can you see? So they stick together. So that's just how I'm going to join the two together. After which, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. After you use your iron, you need to stitch, okay? Because it may actually come off later, but this will actually help you. This is just a way of making you note how, making them stay together before you go ahead and iron, before you go ahead and stitch. So when you get to this part, it depends on how you want yours to be. If you want it to cross over or just want it to bend like this, can you see? When you get here, you can just push this in and use your iron. You understand? Just to form a design here. And if you like, you can leave this one. You can leave it. You can decide not to cut off the excess. Can actually embellish with it later. Do you understand? So I'm going to go ahead and stick this together, and I'll stitch this. If you don't want to sew, you just use your UHU glue or B6000, okay, whatever glue you want to use, and use it to join them together. Okay, please, when you're applying your glue, be very careful, very careful, and please don't move away from the ½ inch mark. Okay, the ½ inch mark, so that you can it can be accurate. So use your glue to take it together, or you stitch. You could actually unstitch with fishing line and needle. Just make sure it is invisible as much as possible, and if you're sure that you're going to embellish this part, you can actually stitch anyhow you want it. But you know, not all the time you want to embellish, and a neat job is what I usually emphasize on. You need to have a very neat job Okay, so I'm applying my glue, and I'll just make sure it dries properly. Then I'll be back to show you the next step. Attach the two cinnamon together. The next step is to start sewing our wire to this part. Start sewing our wire from here. This is the regular heart wire, so we just stitch our wire like this. Like this. You can see the way I'm stitching. Just take it, the needle under the wire, then over it like that. So that's just how I'm going to stitch my wire around to the end. So as you can see, I've attached my wire like that. I've attached it, and I'm going to start covering it with my bias strip. I'll cover it with my bias strip just the same way we did. From here, I'll just cover it with my bias strip. Okay, this is my molded base. I've attached my elastic. Let's say this is placed on the mannequin here. This is the front, and this is our freeform brim. So you're going to place it anyhow you want it. So this is where your creativity comes in. You know, freeform has to do with the way you're creative, or whatever. You can actually form anything with it. Do you understand? So at this point, you know, the wire inside now makes it movable. You can push it this way. You can form anything with this. Okay, so now I'm going to start with this. I can actually fold this like this so I can get the midpoint, so I'll know where to start from. So this is the center, so it's going to be staying right here on my base, right here. So I'll be using my thumb pin to hold it down just for the meantime. Okay, in absence of the thumb pin, I don't have the long pin right now. I'll prefer the long thumb pin, so you can just go ahead and tack. So I'm going to tack it on this point neatly with my fishing line and needle. I'll tack it here, I'll tack it here, and probably here. See what I'm saying? I'm going to tack it here, here, and here. Okay, then from there we'll continue. Please make sure you are stacking it on the front, wherever you want it to stay. You can place it on the mannequin edge so you can set it, so you get the exact point. This is what I mean. So this is my mannequin edge, this is my base. I want it to be on my left side. Okay, so we're going to place this right here. And I'm going to tack it. I'll tack it here, and here, probably on 3 points. So I just want to show you how to tack. I'm tacking with thread and fishing line and needle. So this is where the thread is coming out from. You take it back through the next available hole. Okay, and you tack. Invisible tacking. So that way your tackings will not show. I'm not mindful of how it's going to look like from behind because I want to line my base. I'm going to line the inside. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tack. Okay, as you can see, I've tacked it down here. Okay, you can fold this like this. There's wire inside. You can fold this like this to form something like this. You can just, okay, look at the way I'm just trying to fold. Can you see? It can be like that. And for this part, I just bent it this way. I just bent it this way. Then this one, I bent it this way. So I can decide to tack it down right here. Okay, so in addition to this one, I want to just design my own this way. So what I just did is I cut out this strip. It's actually two pieces, one window siname and one purple siname. I just put it inside, okay, the same way we did. I measured about 1.5 inches in fold. So when you open it up, that's about 3 inches. Okay, so this is about 1 inch, okay, but almost 1.5 as I time I cut, so I just trim it off. That's why it has reduced. So it's just the same. We just like we folded this one. I folded it and I pulled and I ironed, just like you make a tsunami bias strip. Then I have my bias strip, which I'm going to use to cover this part. Okay, so you can use the jerry wire. You can just use your jerry wire like 0.90 to sew it to the edges. Then you use your bias strip to cover it. Okay, so that's what I'm just going to use to design this part of the art. So I'll proceed to do that and then I'll be back. Can you see what I have gotten? So I'm going to use that to just embellish this part. Just get the center. So I'm going to glue it to it. I will allow it dry. So I've glued it up to this point, and I'll just go ahead and use my coiler to coil this edge.
But after I was done with the finishing, this is how it looks like. I hope you have learned one or two things. I hope you've learned something new. Help me like this video, share with others, and subscribe to this channel for more content if you are yet to. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.